Quitting weed. The importance of having an accountability partner. Don't do it alone. It's harder than you think if you try to do it alone. Having an accountability partner makes it easier to quit weed. Letting someone know on a somewhat regular basis, could be like once a week. Sometimes the more the better, but even once a week is good, that you are quitting weed, and sharing your progress just makes it more likely you're going to quit weed. When you tell somebody that you're quitting weed, somehow the weight on your shoulders is less. It feels really good to tell someone. And the shame, the embarrassment you feel is less. You would think that you would get more embarrassed to tell others that you're having a tough time quitting weed or that you're a hardcore addict. Maybe in the beginning you may get more embarrassed, but it quickly goes away. And usually the opposite happens. You feel less embarrassed, less shame. You feel better about your chances quitting weed. Finding an accountability partner to help you stop smoking weed. If you have someone that you can talk to about your problems and struggles, about anything, life stuff, then that person probably will be a good accountability partner for you to try to quit weed. Now, especially if you could tell that person almost anything. But sometimes a good accountability partner might be someone you don't know. Sometimes the less you know the person, the more comfortable you might feel to tell them your struggles. What if you don't have someone that you feel comfortable telling about quitting weed or your struggles? You just don't want anybody close to you or just anybody that you know to be your accountability partner? Well, I will address that in a couple of slides. So what makes a good accountability partner? Well, someone that listens to you and someone that doesn't judge you, or at the very least not judge you while you are talking to them. So make sure you find somebody that is a little bit less on the judgmental side and someone that's a good listener. I feel the best accountability partner does more listening than talking. Sometimes they don't have to say anything at all. Also, the accountability partner doesn't have to be a person that's experienced the same issue that you're going to. They don't have to be a weed addict and then they quit. It could really, the accountability person could be someone that's never smoked weed. You just want to tell someone. That's really what you want to do, is just tell someone so the weight off your shoulders is just less. Just being able to share your struggles and journey will help you quit weed. All right. So what to do if you don't have an accountability partner? Well, share your journey online. You can start a podcast or a newsletter. Very easy to do. Now, you won't get the visual or verbal feedback if you use a person as an accountability partner. But what you do get is you get to share your story, and the weight will come off your shoulders when you do. It just makes the journey of quitting weed easier. And that's what I did. Now, I started a podcast and because I didn't feel comfortable sharing to someone that I wanted to quit weed. And I didn't tell others, and I didn't want to tell others how much I smoked weed. So I started a podcast and did it anonymously. It allowed me to be honest with myself. It allowed me to admit that I had a problem with weed. And it also allowed me to stay sober and clean from weed. And if starting a podcast or a newsletter is too much to do, a little bit too much work, you can also write a blog. And even if that's a little bit too much work, and let's say you just really want to keep anonymous, then you can share your story on a site like Reddit. So there are free options out there to share your story on quitting weed. So thank you for watching this video. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave a comment on YouTube. I also have a Quitting Weed podcast, which I mentioned earlier, which is free and will always be free. If you want to follow my journey on quitting weed, I will put a link in the description for the podcast. I also started a service that I will offer people who want to hire me as an accountability partner, someone to talk to about quitting weed. And with this service, you'll get a 40-minute Zoom call, and you can talk to me about all things quitting weed. And I will listen to you. And I'll do my best to answer any questions that you have and share any tips. The link for the podcast and the accountability partner service will be in the description. So thanks, everybody.